in the UK, families of those who are terminally ill are to be given the legal right to be consulted before a decision is made about ending their loved one's life. The Health Secretary is to announce changes to NHS rules later after a number of families revealed they hadn't been told their relatives had been put on a pathway to death. Sky's Adele Robinson reports.
Denise's 82-year-old father, Phil, died in January. He'd been in hospital with suspected pneumonia for nearly a week. Denise says she only found out he'd been put on the Liverpool Care pathway, which can see food or water withdrawn, when she saw his death certificate.
To think about my father, starving to death and being so thirsty, I just doesn't bear thinking of. It was distressing as it was to see him the way he was, dying in his bed. And to think that, he was it was a lack of fluids, a lack of food. I can't even bear to think about it, to be quite honest.
Denise is one of a growing number of people claiming their relatives were put on the care pathway without their knowledge. Because of that, the government's set to announce stricter rules, ensuring all relatives are consulted first, and could potentially see trusts that fail to do so being sued and doctors struck off. Care Minister Norman Lamb says it's completely wrong that some family members haven't been consulted.
I'm extremely concerned both about the press reports but also having heard from people directly, and it seems to be fundamental that people should be involved, patients and loved ones, in decisions about care at the end of life. And it's part of the Liverpool Care pathway that people should be fully involved and consulted. But if that's not happening, we've got a problem and we need to address it.
Mr Lamb supports the Liverpool Care pathway. He's not the only one. It's endorsed by more than 20 well-respected organisations.
We're pleased that the government has brought forward this proposal, and we'll certainly be engaging them during this consultation period. The guidelines for the Liverpool Care pathway are very clear. All relatives should be consulted, should be informed, and should be part of the decision-making process. So if we can find a way of really enshrining that, then we would be pleased to see that.
Some families believe their relatives could have survived if they hadn't been put on the pathway. Denise says she will never know, but even if her father had only lived for another week, at least for her, there would have been a choice. Adele Robinson, Sky News.
The 2-year-old